Well, I'm very, very happy today because Eli Roth has served us a fucking feast! Hello everyone and welcome to my review of Thanksgiving, directed by Eli Roth. Now this is a movie that I have been somewhat anticipating. I haven't been, dying to see it or anything like that, but I was thinking, it might just be, a fun little slasher film. I'm sure because it's Eli Roth, it's going to be pretty damn gory. And, Eli Roth, he hasn't been the greatest director of all time, but he's done some movies that I enjoy, like Knock Knock and Cabin Fever. He also did the Hostel films, the first two at least. I haven't seen the third because he didn't direct it. And he also did The Green Inferno, Death Wish, and The House with a Clock in Its Walls, or whatever the fuck it's called. Those last three I haven't seen, but from what I have seen, his movies are usually pretty average. Just very, very crazy. He's almost a subgenre unto himself, a bit like Rob Zombie. So I was looking forward to this, but didn't really have the highest of expectations. But then I heard a lot of buzz, and I was immediately intrigued, because I'm like, what the fuck? The Eli Roth Thanksgiving slasher film is supposed to be good? And it is. Very good. So this film was directed by Eli Roth, and it stars Rick Hoffman, Gina Gershon, Patrick Dempsey, Addison Rae, Milo Manheim, Nell Valak, and Karen Cliche. Which is kind of a funny name, because you think of the cliched Karens, her name is literally Karen Cliche. Anyway, and the synopsis of this film reads, an axe-wielding maniac terrorizes residents of Plymouth, Massachusetts after a Black Friday riot ends in tragedy. Picking off victims one by one, the seemingly random revenge killings become part of a larger, sinister plan. So before we get into the review, I just want to say that Eli Roth is a director that I admire. And as I said, aside from Knock Knock and kind of Cabin Fever, I don't think his movies are very good, and Knock Knock really isn't that good. It's just, pretty crazy and intense. Thanksgiving, however, really proves that he knows how to make a damn good movie. And you may think that I'm being hyperbolic by saying this, but I seriously think that Thanksgiving is the best slasher of the 21st century. That's how good I think it is. And this reason alone, and to see a movie come along like this, I'm just going to instantly recommend that you go and support this film in theaters if you can afford it, because it is really something special. This is just an unapologetically gruesome slasher, and we just don't see wide releases like this film anymore. Movies like Terrifier 2, Totally Killer, and the Fear Street trilogy are all just either released to very select theaters or go straight to streaming. And if a gory slasher is widely released, it's usually part of an ongoing franchise such as Halloween or Scream. And other good mainstream slasher films that aren't already part of an existing franchise, such as Happy Death Day and Megan, are very tame and made for younger audiences, which is completely fine, but I'm always longing for that extra bit of carnage and gore. Thanksgiving delivers that extra bit of carnage and gore, and it is not very often you see a nasty original slasher film released like this, and I had the absolute time of my life. So firstly, the opening scene of this film. It says in the synopsis there is a Black Friday riot. That riot is gruesome. It is nasty, with a capital N. And it is tense, it is suspenseful, it's really, really harrowing. There's a lot of gruesome, gory kills that really just make you go, oh, Jesus. It is filthy, and is a brilliant way to open the film. I think the cast is all great, and not all of the characters are fleshed out, but I think everyone does a really good job, especially the characters of Jessica and her father. I was really invested in their story, and they were great to watch, and I think that the character of Jessica is the best part of this movie. She's played by Nell Leverk. I think that's her name. Valake. I don't know how to pronounce it, I'm sorry. She's excellent, and so is Rick Hoffman as her father. This film also brings a surprising amount of talent as well in the director's chair with Eli Roth. He really knows how to frame suspenseful scenes. There is some scenes that definitely feel inspired from other movies, but only, better because of that. And he has a lot of lingering shots where you're just waiting for things to happen, and you might just see something out in the corner, and it really keeps you invested the whole time. He knows what he's doing, and it is so good to see a film of his fully realised. Of course, the practical effects and the carnage and the many kills are nasty as fuck. I think a lot of these are going to go down as just classics. Like, off the top of my head, it's not normally you watch a movie and you can just remember every kill. I think off the top of my head, I remember every kill and how I felt watching them. One of them actually made me almost gag a little bit. It was just so gross. It was like, oh, fuck. Ugh. The villain of this film is terrifying. This character, holy shit. The mask, the axe, the hat, it is just all brilliant. And he is menacing. He just does not take any prisoners. And I absolutely adore that. There's not a single time when this character is on screen that you are not fearing for your life. And that's the thing. I was surprised by this movie because it was actually scary. It actually felt nasty. A lot of it felt real. And it was just gut-wrenching suspense. And not just when he's killing people, but also when he's just chasing after people. It is just a huge figure with this axe and this horrifying mask, and I really love it. The movie also has an interesting plot and like a mystery element too. It's got, you know, who is the killer? Why is the killer doing this? What is the overall goal? And it keeps you on edge and guessing the whole time. And when you do realize the killer's goal and the motivations, and even the reveal is great. I wasn't expecting it at all. I thought it was really, really good. There was like there's a red herring that you're kind of like, okay, I think it's that character. Like, it's just got to be. And I was thinking, oh, okay, well, if it is that character, I'm going to be a little bit disappointed. But then it just pulls the rug out from underneath you. And I was like, oh, shit. And the reveal of the overall plan and everything and what's going on in the climax of this film is so tense, so brutal, so sickly funny in some way, and I absolutely loved just how menacing everything was. It really does feel like a kind of a grindhouse film. It's just down and dirty and nasty. It just doesn't feel like a film that we see very often anymore. And especially this movie had $15 million behind it. You look at movies like Terrifier and Terrifier 2, and Terrifier 2 in particular is great. I don't even know if that movie had a budget of $1 million. I think it was like $800,000. And that's the thing. To see a movie like this big budget, in this kind of vein, is so cool and so refreshing. As I've already mentioned, the climax of the film is brutal, it is nail-biting, it is legitimately scary. It reminds me of some other classic slasher films, but again, not in a way that feels derivative, in a way that feels inspired and works all the better for it. The movie also has a relentless pace to it. I was never bored once in this movie. It's nearly 2 hours long. I think it's like 1:50. And it just flies by because there's always stuff happening. Eli Roth knows how to make it even when there's nothing happening. Your eyes are always darting around the screen to see stuff. There's a lot of great jump scares actually, which really get you. Like, I jumped a fair few times in this movie, and I think it just made it all the more suspenseful and just powerful. And this movie was surprisingly funny too. I wasn't expecting it to be as funny as it was, but mixed with all the brutality and just horror and just gore and just misery, there is a lot of great gags. There's some fun poked at some of our main characters. One of our characters is like a complete dick. And it works in the film's favour because it ends up being really funny. In the opening sequence, like the very opening, they're going to see a movie and he wants to stop off at Right Mart to get a cheap phone because it's Black Friday. Or, you know, it's technically the Thursday because they decide to open on Thanksgiving. But then his girlfriend's like, why do you want to get a phone? We're just going to see the movie. And he goes, how the fuck else am I supposed to text while the movie's going if I haven't got a phone? It's really, really good. It's not going to go, like, people aren't going to digest it, sadly. But I just love that Eli Roth has put that in there. It made me laugh. He doesn't want people on their phones at the movies. He wants people to enjoy it, and I love that that's sprinkled in. And also, there is an interesting amount of depth in this film. There is themes on human greed and consumerism and the way that people will just do anything to get something that they want for cheap. And I really, really love that. It's almost timely, you know, prices are fucking through the roof and people will go insane to save a few bucks. And people just have no empathy for anyone else. And there is some really, really great gags in the opening scene that made me laugh, but are also just like, oh my god, you seedy fucking bastard. I can't believe you would do something like that. But it's like, it doesn't feel like something that people wouldn't do. It feels real. And I love this just overall critique that Eli Roth is giving on this kind of thing. And he also talks a lot about social media and kind of, a bit like Nope did last year, making a spectacle of things and what people will do to get views. It kind of reminds me of Spree, which came out a couple of years ago, and the way it can be used against people and the exploitative ways that social media happens. Like, you know, you're just scrolling through Instagram Reels and then you see a car just fucking run someone over. It's just like, what the fuck? And it's got 800,000 likes. And it's just like, okay, what the fuck? And I love that this movie plays a part in that. It says, this shit, it shouldn't be used to make money or garner attention. I love that it left you with something to chew on as well, because so many slashers, as great as a lot of slashers are, just have nothing to them besides hack and slash. This movie has more, and I was really impressed by it. Now, the only thing holding this film back from being a perfect slasher in my mind, without any spoilers whatsoever, one of the characters just doesn't get the resolution that I think they deserve. And it's just a little bit frustrating. You're like, I was waiting for this to happen or something to be revealed about this character. And it's just kind of left without any real talk about it. And I was thinking, you know, if that character had have gotten one final resolution or one scene that really just wrapped everything into a nice bow, this would be a legitimately perfect slasher. It's just that one thing I left going, if they just had have just fixed that character up a bit, this would just be perfect. So overall, as I'm sure you can tell, I fucking loved Thanksgiving. This is a complete surprise. It's jumped up into one of my favourite films of the year, believe it or not. And when I do my end of year ranking, I think you'll be surprised with how high it is. I'm going to give Thanksgiving 4.5 stars. Guys, thanks so much for watching my review of Thanksgiving. Please go and check this movie out if you can, because I want to be able to support movies like this. It's not very often a gruesome slasher comes out to wide release and stuff like that. It's one of the most exciting things a horror fan can see, and I absolutely loved it, and I'll see you all later. Bye.